Hello, welcome to another episode of Dirty Talk One-on-One Vegas, where we talk to the bulls, stories unfold from the young to the old, nothing's off limits to be told. With that being said, I'm Essie, aka Tornado Head, so I'm gonna keep your head spinning, and I got my girl.
It's your girl Carlucci. You know, I'm going to always keep it Gucci. You can talk to me about your coochie or whatever else you have on your mind. Woo woo!
Yeah.
So, oh my goodness, this has been a crazy week, has it not?
Yes, a lot going on in this world as we are still rolling into our phases from COVID. Yes, it is. It's been quite crazy. But I'm happy to see the fountains back on and people starting to scurry around the strip. It is awesome.
I know that you guys are in phase 2 right now. So a lot of things are starting to open up. The gym is starting to open up. The casinos have opened up. I heard you guys are even going to have the pools and the nightclubs start opening up in like July, right?
I haven't gotten the confirmation on that. It's still up in the air, but with summer here, I'm pretty sure they're going to have to go ahead and open up. I know the water parks are, so I can't see why not the pools as well.
Is there anything in particular that you are looking forward to opening up that you haven't been able to go out to in a while?
Honestly, I was waiting for the roller skating rink to open, which it just did, I think, because I saw last weekend people were there. So, if anybody knows
quack.
roller skate down, yes, I can't wait to get back on the roller rink.
Literally get out there back rolling again. I feel you. If you guys don't know, Essie loves roller skating. One of my favorite things to do with my homie is to go roller skating, and she always makes it so much fun. Last time I think we went to Gold Spike, right?
Yeah man. Every third Wednesday it was going down at the Gold Spike.
Well, shouts out to the Gold Spike because they used to take care of us over there. And whenever they get that part open again, we might have to just do a remote from over there, get everybody out skating.
Hell yes, I'm down for it. What's going on in LA? Are the beaches open?
Okay, so report for California, well, SoCal at least. Down here in San Diego, things are slowly reopening. We've had our first round of restaurants start to open back up. So it's literally like I felt like civilization was going away with no restaurants. So to be able to go back to the restaurant and kind of sit down, have dinner and just chill has been amazing because I haven't been able to do that for 3 months. Now, if we could just get some hair salons down here open and like maybe some fun things to do, that would be awesome. I know my family went this last weekend, the hotels and resorts are starting to open back up out here, and they went over to the Hyatt and spent the weekend over there and chilled over there in the pool. And my sister goes, it was like COVID? What COVID? So I thought that was awesome. And they had a really good time. So life is starting to, right? It's starting to slowly get back to normal. So you guys just hang in there. Are they still making you guys wear your mask out there everywhere?
Yes, for like official places. Like if you were to go to like certain private practices, even dispensaries out here, they do require you to wear a mask before you can even go inside. So they are not played with it whatsoever.
Well, I mean, I guess that's good considering they have been saying that there have been a lot of spikes. So I don't know if you guys are hearing about this, but with all of the social unrest and everything going on, it has created situations where people are in close proximity to one another, and so there have been some spikes. It doesn't say necessarily exactly the region. It's just saying that there's been spikes. I guess there was 1,200 new cases just over the last weekend that have come out. So
Yeah.
people have to be careful and keep on wearing their mask. There's just, I don't know. I know that a big part of what they're saying is that people have been out in groups, and one of the groups that people have been out for is for people protesting. And I don't want to discourage the protesters from being out there, but what I do want to say to them is make sure you guys have on your mask. Make sure that you're safe, that you're staying sanitized, all that kind of good stuff.
Right.
So yeah, just everybody just needs to just stay safe and stay protected. The biggest spikes right now that have been going on are in 21 states, and I don't want to go over all 21 states, but basically 21 states have seen an increase in their average daily coronaviruses, and most of the places have been down south. So
Right.
down south needs to definitely stay your butts inside, keep on sheltering in place, and stay safe. I know that even some celebrities are definitely getting involved in the whole situation of the protest, not necessarily in terms of the coronavirus. But did you hear about this? That Chrissy Teigen.
Yeah, there's a lot of celebrities who've gotten in on the protests. Yep. Lots of them.
Well, she's one who actually put her money where her mouth is. I guess she recently helped to bail some people out from the protest.
Lots of celebrities have done that. Megan Thee Stallion, hella celebrities have done that.
You heard about Megan Thee Stallion?
No, I heard she donated money, and some others, like, I can't remember all the names, but there's like a gang of actors. She's not the only one. There's a lot of actors who have done that.
Yeah, she just made a really nice bailout. She gave $200,000 to help bail out the protesters, basically, and she just donated her own money. Like, it wasn't from anybody else or from a foundation or anything. So basically the model took to social media, and she got onto Twitter and to Instagram last Saturday, after President Trump had declared it MAGA night at the White House. 15 minutes later on Twitter, Teigen used that platform to say that rioters are not criminals. And basically, like I said, she put her money where her mouth is, and she gave $200,000 to help get the protesters out. So I personally thought that was awesome. You guys can check out her story on Twitter and kind of follow that if you want. But I'm really getting into my social justice and social rights. There's so many things going on. And actually, one of the people I want to talk to tonight, he's been getting super involved. His name is Baldemar. He actually lives out in Texas. And he has participated in a bunch of things, and I kind of just want to get him on the line. So let me go ahead and try and get him on the line. You guys know how this goes. Sometimes I'll be having technical difficulties, but we're going to figure it out. So, what did you say, Essie?
We just found out SpongeBob has been announced into the LGBTQ community.
What?
So, SpongeBob, is he gay, or does that mean he's trans? I don't know. What does it mean? He's part of the community. That's what they tell us. So, if you haven't heard, they done turned SpongeBob dirty.
They're trying to get SpongeBob political.
It's like living in the closet. He lives under the sea. Now he's coming out. Guess he won't be living under the sea no more.
He won't be living in the closet anymore. That's for damn sure.
That's what I'm saying. He won't be in the sea no more. He'll be out there on land like, hey, how you doing?
Did you find anything?
Can you color my sponge? A little colors, yeah. I want rainbow colors on my sponge. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Let me see here. All right. I'm going to oh, there we go. Let's see if...
Who's next? Who's next?
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Hello. Welcome to Church
How you
Talk
doing?
in Las Vegas.
How y'all doing, man? How y'all doing tonight?
Good. How are you, sir?
I'm fine. We're in different time zones, so I was getting confused on the time.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
It's happy hour where I'm at. Yeah.
Oh man.
It's always happy hour where she's at.
It's happy hour somewhere, right?
That's what's up.
Happy hour is any hour that Essie's around.
Yeah.
So what's up, Baldemar? I wanted to get into it, Mr. Gonzalez. I wanted you to talk to us about your movement with the people. I know you have been working hard to make sure that everybody's organized and being peaceful. So I just kind of wanted you to, chime in and kind of tell us what's going on with you down there in Texas.
Well, yeah, it's a beautiful movement right now. It's a whole revolution actually, and I feel like it's just right off the bat. I want to say that I feel like it's more than, it's not just the race thing, with all the hate and all the anger that these people are spewing, man. It's a problem that people have, It's a problem. We have the same problems within our own people. Like they say, we kill our own kind, whatever this and that. So it's a big hate. The racism is real, but we also got to control our hatred and make sure that we don't direct that towards other minorities. Also, like for instance, us Mexicans, Hispanics, Chicanos, and the blacks, the Africans. We're basically in the same boat when it comes to being targeted by the police officers. We're right under them. A lot of people would say, people that are on the racist side, I would say, it's like, white people are killed just as much as, they're killed more than everybody else. And it's like, yeah, well, if you look at the numbers, there's a ton more of them than any other race in the country right now. So, of course, their numbers are going to be higher. And so it's kind of like an excuse. I feel like people used to be racist. So it's about both, but I just want to point that out too, that right off the bat, that just let everyone know that I love all people, all colors. I started looking at people's hearts and they souls, instead of just looking at their color, because there's bad people of all kinds. So that's something that we really got to eliminate. But the racism is real, and the hatred is real, and that's where this movement comes from. I've been about it since I was younger. I never hopped in the political side of it, but anytime, I was the type of person. Anytime I seen injustice or racism in the street or at school, I was the type to say something. So I knew since back then, I had kind of a niche for, kind of like snuffing that stuff out, So now it's like it's on a much deeper level now that I arrived with the Brown Berets over here in San Antonio.
Yeah, I want you to tell me more about the Brown Berets. I was trying to tell some people some information out here in California, because obviously I have a lot of Mexican homies. I'm Black and Puerto Rican, so I don't really see a difference between us. I think we're all beautiful brown people. We need to stick together. And like you said, we're kind of in the same boat. So if people don't know about the Brown Berets, can you give them a little bit of information, a little background on that?
Yeah, well, basically the Brown Berets are a freedom fighting group, similar to they're like the Chicano Mexican version of the Black Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
And they were formed back then during the wartime when they had our people on the front line. They had our people on the front line during these wars, and so we formed together a freedom fighting group for the reason to in remembrance and out of reaction to that, and so ever since then we formed that, and it was a remembrance and type of I wouldn't say like an army, but really it was at the beginning. It was against all the stuff that from the beginning, the racism and the hatred that they're pushing and using their force, and their power to use our people and also the African Americans as pawns during these wars. And people got tired of it. They grouped up and that's originally where the Brown Berets formed, and it spread all across the nation. as people were, going through the same struggles as everybody else on, the West Coast in California and down to Texas. So now it still does the same thing, but I could say from all, I wasn't around back then, but I am really close with the ex-prime minister, Victor San Miguel. He's the ex-prime minister of the Brown Berets, the Texas chapter. So, he's an old guy. He's an older gentleman. I'd say he's almost about 65, 70. And he told me back in the 50s and 60s, it was real. Members were dying, man. They're getting hit with car bombs, pipe bombs, and all kinds of stuff. There was real assassination going on these people. So it could pop off. We're over there at these rallies and these protests. Stuff could pop off anytime. You never know when an opposition or not the Nazis are showing up to the rallies, man, and stuff could get rowdy. So it still could pop off. But we know that it's you know what? Now that I'm saying this, I really can't say it. Like I don't want to say it like, oh, it's not as bad as it was back in the day, because I don't know. You know what I mean? The way it's a real whole revolution right now, and people are dying. I don't know if y'all heard the news from down here in Texas, but just the last couple of days they found 5 people of color hanging from trees.
I actually have heard about that, because out here in California, they recently hung a young man from a tree, and it was up in Apple Valley. I don't remember the exact details about it, but they found a man hanging from a tree in front of the federal building. And he was like a young man, and they tried to say that it was, like a suicide. Right. But like, there was no way. And, they tried to say, it was up in Victor Valley, and they tried to say that there was no foul play, but yet he was found hanging from this tree, in front of the federal building. And it's just like they were saying, well, this is a message. This isn't just a coincidence.
Well, that's exactly what it is. That's what I was about to say. Powwow from Switch House. I seen his Instagram, and I put a comment on there just right now a little while ago. He posted a video. He's like, hey, this is right here behind the corner store where they found, it was a Mexican dude. It's like where they found this dude hanging from the tree. And he's like, there's a Bible right there. There was still the Bible right there, because it was a crime scene. They had everything taped off. He's like, I don't want to get too close, but the verse was open to Jeremiah 9:8. He said, and some other verse. I didn't look at the other one yet, but the Jeremiah 9:8, it says that something about the tongue of the wicked spreads a message to its neighbor, but he's only causing them to suffer, something like that. Something like that, saying basically like the message, like, hey, all y'all, you and your neighbors are coming together and hyping each other up, but y'all are only hurting yourself in the end. Basically saying that everybody, what I translated from that is basically saying that, hey, all y'all people protesting and, trying to stop this, whatever it is, whatever force it is, white supremacy or the higher elites, whatever it is, Illuminati shit, I don't know. We nobody knows. I feel like a lot of these people out here, they like to they start other wars, and this is just about Republicans, Democrats, and liberals. And I was telling this to my dad earlier, because my dad is he's crazy. He's a Republican. His dad and his mom are from Mexico. And my dad's over here. I told him, bro, I was like, you're over here, you're confused. I was like, but either way, Democrats and Republicans and liberals, they're just as bad as the Bloods and Crips now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I was like, I don't trust that big orange mofo as far as I could throw him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't trust none of them cats, especially him, because he is that, like, our country has never, in recent history, has never had this type of racial tension.
Mm-hmm.
It's really amplifying now, and I feel like those are messages, but I don't think it could. If it was from the government, like from one of these parties, like the way they're saying that, and which I don't believe either. They're saying Antifa is part of the Democratic Party. I don't believe that stuff either. But like if these are like some kind of Republican hitman, like, man, that would be crazy. You know what I mean? Like, but that I don't think the government would do something that crazy in the risk of getting caught. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I do. Have you seen? Have you know about some of the crazy things they've done before in the past? Like they've straight bombed, whole communities. They have given people diseases. They gave the Tuskegee Airmen syphilis. Like our government ain't nothing to play with, and I definitely don't put anything past them. I actually did want to bring up everything. Hey, don't even get me started on how the coronavirus is actually started by the government. They started it over in Boston in the lab. But want to hear my crazy conspiracy theories. I did want to say that I do agree with you that I think that the hangings out here in California and the hangings in Houston are related. So there was two families actually out here. One man's name was Robert L. Fuller, and the other one was Malcolm Harsh. The one guy was 24, the other Malcolm was 38. Now, they're trying to say that both deaths are going to be ruled as suicide. So, Mr. Harsh was found at 7 a.m. on May 31st near a homeless encampment in Victorville, where bystanders told the authorities that he was living. And he was found hanging from a tree, and then he was then cut down from the San Bernardino County in front of the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Coroner's Department. They try to say that it was suicide. Now, I think it's kind of weird that two men, 24 and 38, all of a sudden decided to commit suicide back to back and both in public spaces. And they tried to say that they did CPR on Mr. Harsh when they arrived to the scene, but they were unable to recover him. And for the other young man who was only 24, they try to say that he committed suicide. Now, it just doesn't make sense, and people there are saying that that it's not right. And they actually had a rally for Mr. Fuller last Saturday. His sister said that, and she was crying when she said that. She said that it didn't make sense, and that everything that they're telling us hasn't been right. So that was her quote, and quite frankly, I believe her. I feel like family knows. And then over in Houston, there was a Latino man and a black man found, and their bodies were discovered in Shady Acres community. And I guess the Huffington Post later questioned the cause of death because they were also ruled a suicide. Now, I'm not trying to say that black and brown people don't commit suicide, because unfortunately that horrible thing touches all communities regardless of what race you are. But I do think that we don't be hanging ourselves from trees. Like, if we were going to do something like that, we would be doing that shit in our garage or something. I mean, I know it's not nothing to make light of, but we just don't do that. We don't do public displays like that. So I don't think the
government. It's got to be like the KKK or something, man. They got some kind of thing going on where they're doing that probably. You know what I mean? Just to, because that's what they do. That's the hatred in their blood, and they're like, and it's it's sad. It's sad. You got so many good people right now. I went to the San Antonio protest, a couple weeks ago for George Floyd. And, San Antonio is a big melting pot. It's a big Hispanic, we're mostly Hispanic, but, we got all races there, Indian and, Chinese, Korean. It's a lot like California, it's a really good mix. So I'm all down there, with a lot of Africans, a lot of the black brothers, a lot of Mexican, and just like even the white folk, there's some white folk out there, and all kinds, and all kinds are out there, and they're just real. You could see the passion, man. And people we was getting tear gas. That people started looting. A couple people started looting, so everyone else that was peacefully protesting got tear gas too. So we're there getting tear gas, and man, people are running. Like I have an actual video I posted on my social media, and it was of me there, and I'm recording while we're protesting, and you hear people breaking glass around the corner, and then the cops start shooting their tear gas, and you just see the whole mob of people just run around the corner, and they run past me, and I'm still there because I have a hoodie on. I don't have a gas mask or nothing, you know what I mean? But I put my bandana tight around my face, and I cover up a little bit, so the gas still gets to me, but it it doesn't burn that bad, and everybody else is running. But it's like it's a real critical time, and you know, and there was a couple of homies out there. There was a couple homies out there, you know, with their a couple machine guns out there, but nobody was popping off, you know. And I think it was a better idea that they did it because I know they had military and they had all kinds of stuff out there, you know. Snipers on the roof.
Can I just say one thing that pisses me off about that? Oh, yeah. Can I just say one thing? Okay, this is what pisses me off about that. They straight let all those white people straight go to the Capitol, to the fucking Capitol with AK-47s and machine guns and fucking rifles and all this shit. And the police didn't do not a damn thing. Like, they were literally standing inside the rotunda of the Capitol, and they were just able to do that. Now, I really don't think that if me and you and all the homies rolled up to the state capitol with some AK-47s and some machine guns and some rifles, I don't think it would be nothing. Like, and they were up there talking about they want a haircut. It's like, we're over here saying we want equal rights, and they'll spray us with pepper spray, shoot us. Did you hear about the woman who got shot in the eye? She's gonna lose her eye. Yeah. And she was standing there peacefully protesting. And that was actually that was my sister's friend's friend. Like, you know, the 6 degrees of separation. So it's like, you know, I pseudo know this lady, and she's over here losing her eye for peacefully protesting. But yet these people can just walk up in the state capitol with guns ablazing and nothing happens to them. And they're over here demanding freaking haircuts because they're tired of COVID. Like, the hypocrisy of the situation is just ridiculous. And that's what made me get involved. This last weekend, I went to the protest here in La Jolla. And I was, I was helping to organize the event. I was not the organizer of the event. I was there with some other people, but I was just helping. And I will make sure that I post the video of the rally to the Dirty Talk Facebook after this, because it's like, I know this is not a usual topic for us on Dirty Talk, but it's like, we have to talk about the real things that are dirty too, you know, not just the things that are fun and fluffy. And I feel like this is something dirty that's going on right now, and we need to expose it and bring it to the light and get it clean, because it ain't right. And that's the reason why I wanted you to come on, because I know that you're helping to organize something for a march down there in Texas. And I'm really, really, like, I think it's one of the most important things right now for people of color to stand together. Like, right now, I hate the memes that are going around like, well, why should we march with y'all when the babies were in cages? You didn't do nothing for us. And it's like, I mean, I can't speak for every person out there, but it's like, I definitely was pissed off. I definitely signed the petitions. I was vocal about it, but I feel like that wasn't enough. And I feel like if we are going to be out here protesting for, Black Lives Matter, then we need to be out here protesting for these babies in the cages. And that's something that I really wanted to get involved in. I want people to know that this rally and this march is going on. So I know you're organizing that. Why don't you tell the people some things about your upcoming march that you have, that you're helping to organize, and how they can get involved?
Okay. Yeah, well, definitely. I've been since before I organized it, I've been planning it with the Brown Berets, and not to plug myself in, but I do the music stuff. You know what I mean? I'm a hip hop artist out here in San Antonio, Texas, and I actually came up with Rashid from Dope House. So he from on 21st Century on his record label that he had after Dope House. He's still Dope House, whatever. But so I linked up with him, and so now I'm cool with Sylvia Coy. So we actually got Sylvia Coy involved, SPM's sister. We actually got her involved in the movement in Houston this year. So it's gaining a lot of steam, and and with the music, I've been able to bring other people outside of the activist community into the scene, and actually have them and most of the people are the same ones that are posting the other posts where it's the one where it's the person rapping the Mexican flag, and they're like, oh, how come we haven't had how come we don't have a protest for the babies, like for the kids in cages, and that's another negative meme that I think, because we have been fighting You know, it makes the people it makes the people that post that really kind of ignorant, and it makes the people that are fighting, like me and like you and everybody else, makes us feel bad and look bad. You know, like, hey, you know, like, you can't. And I jump on people's butts on every time I see that on social media. I'm like, hey, man, you can't say that. You
don't divide us, right? Don't post none of that shit that divides us. Like, we in this together, y'all.
Yeah. No, I'll put the flyers on. I'm like, hey, speak for yourself. Where have you been? You know what I mean? We've been fighting. Instead of typing, you need to get your butt up and get out there and go do something about it. You know, so like I run into a lot of people like that in the music industry, but it's also been a positive because, you know, like I said, I got a pretty good vibe going on with my little music persona or whatever. I got a good amount of people watching. So I've actually seen.
You did a song actually for this, right? Didn't you do a song or something like that for all of this stuff that's going on? Yeah, I seen that video. I want you to give that a shout out.
Yeah, y'all can look it up on if you look up BG3, like boy girl 3 _ the Poe MC, D like dog, A like apple, Poe POE, and then MC. If you look that up on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook, you'll be able to. If you look it up on YouTube, you'll be able to see the whole video. But if you look it up on any of them, y'all can find me. If y'all want, y'all can check me out. But you want to check out that one because that and it's crazy. The crazy thing about that, and it's crazy. Like on my other songs too, I dropped them on special occasions. The last two. The last one I dropped before the last one, it was on Pimp C's birthday, and I didn't even know. You know what I mean? This one was like, it was crazy because R.I.P. to George Floyd. You know, I dropped this song the day before it happened. You know what I mean? And yeah, I dropped it the day before it happened, and I wake up the next day, and I see all this stuff going on, and then later on, all the rioting and protesting, and you know what I mean? I was like, wow, like all this stuff was in my video. You know what I mean? And I was like, kind of, I told my friend that Greg Wallace, the one that the videographer, we were talking, and he's like, bro, that's crazy. You dropped your video the day before all this happened. And I was like, yeah, I know. I was like, I know, bro. I was like, man, I can't believe they did that to George Floyd. And it's crazy that George Floyd is actually, you know, he's from the Screwed Up Clique, right here from H-Town, you know, from close to San Antonio. So it's like you said, it's 6 degrees of separation. So it's like I felt really close to that, and I felt really. At first, I was mad and enraged because, like, you know, he's a person of color, and then he's an artist. Because I feel like that happens a lot too. I feel like sometimes people might target an artist, you know, because who they are, and I feel like that cop was not only racist, but they also said that there was a backstory to that supposedly his daughter or something liked George Floyd, you know what I mean? Or they had some type of thing going on, and the cop didn't like that because they worked in the same nightclub together. So,
yeah, you know what I mean? I mean, that's definitely the dirty side of it too, and I feel like they're not giving that enough credence. They're not even talking about that at all. Like, Homeboy, most likely from what I'm ascertaining from all the information, is like Homeboy had a personal vendetta against the dude. And also, he had his other racist tendencies. Like, I guess at the nightclub that they had worked together at, he was always doing like mas puta shit, and like, you know.
Well, you know that he already had killed. He had killed a person of I think it was a guy from Alaska, but his last name was Martinez. I think he was Latino or half Latino, half something. He killed a guy, and then he was involved in a car accident, or he made a car crash that had 3 or 4 black individuals in there, and they died. So this guy already had killed 3 or 4 people of color. He was still on force.
Yeah, he was just out there doing dirty all over the place, and I'm just not with it. He was definitely, and it's like he's still doing dirty right now. He's actually out on bail right now. He got released on bail. And I think that's dirty as fuck, because it's like, you know, sometimes regular people will do something as petty as, like, you know, stealing something out of somebody's house or whatever, and they'll hold them with no bail. But this dude didn't straight killed somebody. It's a national story, and they let him out on bail. Like, it's just not right. So
yeah, it's really ridiculous.
I think so as well, and I know that you're trying to do what you can down there in Texas to like kind of bridge the gap. Like I said, bring everybody together and kind of fight the dirty cops. What's the date of the upcoming march?
The date is June 27, 2020 on a Saturday all across Texas. We got one in Dallas. We got one in Houston, San Antonio, and Laredo. And like I said, the Houston one's building up steam. San Antonio's building up steam. And Dallas and Laredo, we got a couple contacts over there, but it hasn't picked up as much steam as over here. But we're hoping we could pick up steam everywhere. And I actually wanted to encourage y'all, to maybe you could organize your first one for the same day, and it's a lot of people don't show up. It's fine as long you start it, you do it again next year. You know what I mean? I've been telling the Brown Berets because they have a couple of events coming up also around mine, and they were like, "Hey, we got one around then too." I was like, "Well, the more protests, the better." You know what I mean? It's like you can't have too little protests. You know what I mean? The more, the better. So I'm like, hey, I'm encouraging everyone if we could stand up all together on the same day, all across the nation, or at least from here to Cali. You know what I mean? Like, I think that would be amazing. You know what I mean? To get something like that going, and all it takes. I mean, I can even make a flyer for y'all. You know what I mean? If y'all give me an address, y'all want to do it at a park over there, I could get the flyer done for y'all, and then between you and all your heads, all your people, y'all could go ahead and then distribute it, digitally on the internet or wherever, and y'all set it up and y'all do it, and boom. Now it's not just a Texas thing; it's a Texas to Cali thing. You know what I mean? And now we're hitting them from the third coast to the west coast.
Hey.
A lot of people want to say that too. They're like, oh, the West Coast and Texas and the third coast don't get along. You know what I mean? Like, nah. We're about to show y'all right now that we're going to hit y'all from both sides.
It's about unity. If it ever hasn't been before in the past, that's what it's about right now, you guys. And we really need to all band together because, like I said, this is Dirty Talk 101, and we're not just here to talk about, the dirty stuff in terms of sexual stuff and, celebrity news. Sometimes we have to talk about the real dirt. And right now, how they're doing our people is dirty as fuck. And I'm not with it. So if you guys want to get out there and you guys want to show them what's up, you guys want to get involved. If you're out there in Texas right now and you're listening to the show and you want to know how you can get involved, I'm going to make sure that I provide a link so you guys can hook up with Mr. Gonzalez. And then also, sir, if you would like to send me that information, I will get it over to my people out here and try to see if I can't get something organized. And then as well for Essie over there in Las Vegas, she has a couple people she could spread the word to and see what we can put together because so like I said, sometimes you got to fight the dirty instead of embracing it. And this is one of those times over here on Dirty Talk 101 Vegas. I do want to make sure that I give you some time because you have so eloquently talked about some of the issues that are going on right now that you're fighting against. But I do want to make sure that I give you time to plug your music and all the positive things that you're doing outside of the movement. In case you guys don't know, he has a bunch of music online. He's an artist in his own right. So why don't you give them some information on what you have going on, where they could find you online, where they could find your music, who you're affiliated with in terms of, whatever your production house is and all that kind of good stuff.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I appreciate that. I appreciate all that, and I appreciate y'all's time. And I'm glad y'all took y'all's time out of this show to address it. You know what I mean? Because if y'all didn't, it'd kind of be wrong. Because it's a real serious thing going on. So I feel like they should be talking about this everywhere. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But so good job for y'all. Appreciate what y'all do. Thank you. So like I said, yes, man. Like I said, BG3 is my artist name. BG3, the Pole MC. You can look me up on, of course, I'm on the social medias, but you could actually find my music on Spotify, iTunes, Google, all the major streaming sites. You can find my music on. Just search BG3. My album, you can listen to my full album on any of those sites, or you could download it for $9.99, or you can listen to it for free. Stream it on. You just search BG3 Poetry and Pimpin'. But not like the word and the symbol and, Poetry and Pimpin'. That's my album I dropped last year. I got features on there, of course, with Rashid and my my boy Mexican Trill over here. I don't know if y'all heard of Mexican Trill over there in the West Coast, but I know we got some fans over there. Y'all might want to look him up too. Him and Rashid, they showed me a lot of ways in the game, and you know, I don't think I would be this far if I didn't have a lot of guidance from the real ones like that, you know. But y'all can look me up on like I said, iTunes, Spotify, all the major streaming sites, YouTube. I do have about 6 visuals on YouTube right now. I just did drop the Indigenous. If you search BG3 Indigenous on YouTube, that'll pop up. And if y'all are ever in Texas, if anybody's ever in Texas, or if I'm in Vegas, y'all see me holler at me. But in Texas, y'all ever get over here, you know, y'all want to talk to me, you know, I'm real open about that. You know, I'm not over here hiding from anybody, you know, and I'm a real people person, and I think that shows through my music and the, like you said, the good things that we do besides the movement. During Christmas and Thanksgiving, we do toy drives and food drives for the people that wouldn't have it. You know, since we started about 3 years ago, like I said, we probably helped over hundreds of people. You know, at least 100, 200 people with either care packages, toys, or plates for Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's something that, and that's something that we don't have to do. You know, and or like I say we, because most of the time it's just me. I ain't gonna lie, you know, but I like to, you know, I don't like to. I'm the type of person I don't like to take all the credit for everything. Even if I did do, you know, I try to be as humble as I can about everything that I got going on, and a lot of people been hitting me up, like, you know, y'all, and like, you know, not just from San Antonio, but in San Antonio I got a good presence in, but a lot of people been hitting me up lately about the political stuff and about the music, and people are just like, man, like, you know, don't stop what you're doing, man, because, you know, you're going to go places, and it's wonderful to hear. It's wonderful to hear, but, you know, I'm a real realist, and, you know what I mean? You could tell me you're going to give me $1 million, but, you know, I'm not going to believe it until I have it in my hand, you know, so I'm not going to stop working until I get it, you know? So it's been real fun. It's real wonderful, and I embrace every fan. I embrace every business and sponsor association that I've gained, and all that stuff, man. It's been a wonderful trip, and I'm glad y'all got a hold of me and noticed, and I'm blessed to be here, and I can't wait to. Also before I forget the plugs, I don't know, have you ever heard of Destiny Riders?
What is it called?
Destiny Rider.
Destiny Rider?
No.
Y'all gotta look her up. She almost has about 200K followers on Instagram. She's actually been on Love and Hip Hop with. She was on the Love and Hip Hop episode with Cardi B, and Stevie J was on there a long time ago. You know, and she was on there with Stevie J. She was like the surprise guest that he had brought on, and she actually has music. She has music on Major Motion, like Bruce Willis films and all kinds of stuff. She has a feature coming with French Montana and Mano pretty soon. And she's basically like my artist management right now. And me and her are going to have a feature coming out. So, you know, that's another. And her too, she's real humble, but, you know, I hollered at her about the music, and she checked me out. And she was just like, man, she's like, you're pretty dope. And, like, that's amazing. And, you know, ever since then, she wanted me to take me under her wing, and we also got a feature coming out. So it's been a whole lot of blessings, and, you know, I feel like if I never jumped in the rap game, a lot of the blessings that I gained in my life, and a lot of the connections that I made with brothers and sisters, and, you know, friendships, and within the music community it's been wonderful, man. And I'm excited. Like I'm really excited to be doing this. To put on a political standpoint and from the musical front, because there's just so much potential and there's so much people to reach, and I feel like I do have a voice and I do have a message that could really reach the masses, and you know, when I speak, if I'm in a room and I'm speaking, I get people to listen. You know, I'm a good I call it public relations person, you know. but yeah, man, it's been so wonderful, and the music's there. It's coming. I'm coming with some major features, and hopefully before it's said and done, I don't want to say the moves that I got, but there's a couple of major artists that within the next couple of years I'm hoping to close the gap with, and you know what I mean. Just keep doing what I think God put me on this earth to do. You know what I mean, and give our people some poetic justice.
That's what's up, and that's exactly why I wanted you to come on the show, because I feel like that's exactly what needed to be brought to light. You know what I mean? Like I always say, we're in this together, but it's a beautiful thing when I see other people out there in the community that aren't just talking about it, they're being about it. And that's what I appreciated about you, because right now times are dirty and we need to do a little self-work. We need to do a little cleanup, and it's not just for the other communities to take a look at themselves. It's also for us to take a look at ourselves and see what can we do as people of color to support ourselves more and to lift ourselves up and spend more dollars in Black and Mexican communities. Keep our dollars in our own communities and kind of support each other. And I think it all kind of leads back to community organizing, and that's why I especially wanted to speak with you tonight. I personally think that the system is broken. I would like it if we could just burn this bitch down, but that's not realistic. I think that probably the best bet for our future is if we work within the system and slowly start to create legislation and laws for us. So it all leads back to voting. So what are your thoughts on voting and how more Black and brown people can get involved over there in Texas with their local legislation and community leaders?
Yeah, honestly, I feel like what you said at the beginning, it kind of touched, because of how you said, like, you know, we I don't think we're gonna get anywhere like by burning the whole system down, but like I don't condone none of those rioting or nothing, but the protesters are really what we're about. But I mean, if you look through history, the history of America, anytime there was a major change, it was because people got up and they were tired of it, you know, and they let the government know by destroying a lot of stuff. And I'm not saying it's good, because in the midst of that, a lot of people got hurt, and a lot of Black and brown owned businesses were destroyed also. You know what I mean? So it's not a good thing. But like you said too at the beginning of our interview, kind of close to the beginning, you said the government went and they burned down you know what I mean, Black Wall Street. You know, they bombed it all the way up. And it's like, yeah, it's been, and why did they do that? They did that because it was basically a war, you know? So it's like, it's, to me, it's a thin line. I am going to vote. I'm going to vote. But I kind of feel like, man, like the government fails us, you know? I feel like the government has failed us, and you're right. Like, if we get in there, we start making changes, getting people up there. But I kind of also feel that, like, you know, you don't want to become like those people that are there right now. You know, it's kind of like a kid growing up. You know, like a kid, we're growing up and we're like, we don't want to be like our parents. We don't want to be like our parents. You know what I mean? And then you know, look what happens. We turn into our parents. You know, so I kind of wouldn't want that to happen. Like, to where, you know, of course we got to be in there, but it's like, hey, we would have to have some realized people in there with some tough roots and some strong branches, you know what I mean, to hang in there and not let anything move them or let them get corrupted, you know, because I don't, like I said, I don't know what to believe anymore between the Democrats and Republicans, because you got people. I do believe, like, with my personal opinion, that Trump is racist and he spreads a racist rhetoric.
Speak on it.
But as far as all that,
Speak on it.
It's there. But as far as all that other stuff, where they're like, oh well, these people might get arrested, like Hillary might get arrested, and Obama was doing this, and you know what I mean, all this other stuff. I'm like, man, like y'all are making so much stuff between each other. It's like, you don't know what to believe anymore. You know what I mean? It's like, it's crazy. It's crazy. So that's why it's hard to trust these guys. And I feel like, yeah, if we do gotta vote, and we do gotta vote and you know, get the right people up there. But I also feel like once if people keep protesting and we keep standing up, the government, they're not gonna have no right, or the crooked cops, they're not gonna have no room or right to say anything or any or do any more of that crooked stuff, as long as our people keep the lens on them, you know. Because recently there has been a rise of cops and chiefs resigning and cops getting fired because of their actions. And it's not all of them, but it's like I feel like the only way one of the only ways besides the voting and all that, the only way is for us to stay on this until we see a dramatic and extreme change, to the climate of racism there is now. Because there's so many people that are whitewashed, and that they've been racist for so long, they don't think they're being racist.
Right, it's like ingrained into them right now, and it's our job to, like I said, to bring some of these dirty things to light. It's dirty out there in those streets, so we got to get out there with y'all right now and march and scream and say our piece and do what we need to do, and like I said, elect officials that look like you. Like right now, there's a couple I can think of off the top of my head. It's like Alexandria AOC. Stacey Abrams. There's a lot of young people in politics right now that are fighting for what we believe in, and we need to keep on getting more people like that into office. And actually, there's no reason why you yourself couldn't run for an office. People think that it's just for the political types, but what I love about Alexandria the AOC, I can't remember her last name right now. I'm not saying it properly. But what I love about her is, like, she started off as a waitress, okay? And she was just a regular Puerto Rican girl living in the Bronx that said, you know what? Enough is enough. I don't want this shit happening in my neighborhood anymore. And she decided to do something about it. And what I really hope that the story of, what Baldemar is telling everybody right now is, like, you can be the change that you want to see. Get your asses up. Stop sitting around in your house. I know it's COVID. Put on a mask, put on some gloves, pick up a sign, go out there, stand up for your rights, and do what you need to do. I do want to tell some people more about your music. If you had one song that you could pick, which one would you want them to hear on the outro?
Oh, man. That's a tough one. You put me on this spot right there. They're all... I got a couple of dope ones on the album that haven't had a video done to them yet. Shorties and Trillville, Keep It Pimpin' are really good, but I'd have to say, hey, play that Indigenous, you know what I mean? You got to play that Indigenous. The one that I just dropped has major historical facts and current events and politics in it. So I think it's only right for this time, At any other time, I would say a couple of, like I said, Shorties or Keep It Pimpin' and Trillville. Those are three other really dope ones I feel are really hot, man. But Indigenous right now, that's I just dropped that one 2 weeks ago. It got a pretty good amount of plays and spins right now. So and it's touching on all the topics right now. So I think if you let your people hear that, it's kind of like a war song, kind of like a war cry, kind of gets you hyped up because it has a lot of strong points in there. And I feel it's something people need to hear. People got to hear that message.
I'm down with that. Well, then I'm going to make sure that it's what we play for our outro tonight. Essie, did you have any more questions?
I did not. You pretty much covered it all there.
I kind of got excited with him. I get passionate about all these things that are happening in the world. Like I said, it's dirty. We got to clean it up. It's up to us.
Yeah. I'm just happy you guys have started the movement, and I hope that it does reach Vegas. I hope we reach all the states by the time this is over with.
It's there, y'all. We're here. I'm here. Y'all over there. We're here. Give me the address wherever y'all want to do that later on tonight or tomorrow, and then I'll get on a flyer so it could be official, and then we could put it in everybody's face and like, hey, look, we got this going on, and we need y'all to join us. Stand up.
You heard it right there. Oh. Stand up. Essie?
Yeah?
Well, darling, I'm almost out of time right now. I had so much fun talking to everybody tonight. I do want to play Indigenous 2020 for my outro. But before we do that, you know what we have to tell the people, right?
That is safe
sex and paychecks. Thank you so much for being on the show tonight, Baldemar. I'm going to make sure that I get this music playing for BG3, the Poe MC. I'm going to go ahead and spin Indigenous 2020 right now to take us out. Did you have anything else you wanted to tell the people before I play the music?
Nah, man, this is everybody. Put your boots on, put your hard hats on. Let's get ready to go to work. You know what I'm saying? Let's get ready to go to war, man. It's time. It's time to protest and let the people hear our voices and you know, in a positive light. But make sure we get our message across and stay strong in unity, side by side with all brothers, our black brothers and our white brothers, Asians, Puerto Ricans, you know, aliens, yellow, purple, whatever color they are. We need to come together with everybody right now and stand together, stand in unity for immigration reform and for Black Lives Matter, man. That's what's bumping right now.
That's what's up. And on that note, you guys, I'm going to leave you with the music. I let it talk for itself. I definitely want to just, like I said, say thank you for everything. And yeah, you guys check out the music. Let me know what you think. Thank you for being on the show. I'm going to go ahead and drop a link so that people can find out where to check you out. And thank you for being on the show.
Appreciate it, man. You have a good night, okay?
All right.
You too, bless you.
All right. Thank you.
That's good. So, yeah, man, that was good. That was good interview. I didn't stumble too much or fumble, so
No, you did great. You did great.
No, you did good. It was awesome. Are you done? Are you done recording? I hope you're done recording.